When did you first start researching or thinking about halophytes?
Well, this has been going on for a long, long time. The original idea started out of the University of Arizona in Tucson. They have established an environmental research lab. Back in the 1960s, scientists were worried about the rising sea levels, right? It wasn't called climate change then, but there was a realization that the sea levels were rising. And so climatologists by the name of Carl Hodges started this idea about building or dredging seawater rivers inland so that the sea level rise would be contended with. Of course, if you build, he theorized that you could build 25 big inland seawater rivers to contend with sea level rise. What would happen to the water once you bring it inland was the next question, of course, and he started thinking about what he could do with that water, and so he started thinking about aquaculture, and then he started thinking about combining aquaculture with some sort of agriculture, and so he found these halophytes that would naturally grow on the coastal deserts of the world. And in Mexico we have one of the native halophytes is Salicornia bigelovii, which turns out that it produces an oil seed. And so he very quickly came to the conclusion that if he could produce oil, vegetable oil, using seawater, he would be able to produce a biofuel. And so that thinking has evolved a lot.
When we searched, a few of us that talked to Darren, we searched on Google Scholar for research mentioning Halophyte Biofuel, and I think we found one or two. Right. There was very, very few, other than the Masdar Institute work, there was almost nothing, yeah. So it seems that it's been under the radar, no pun intended.
No, but this is what I was trying to tell. So it's been out there for a long time. There hasn't been very formal academic rigor behind it. Some at the University of Arizona. You can find a few articles back in the 1970s, not specifically about halophyte agriculture, but about Salicornia testing, and in some cases aquaculture and halophyte combinations. What we're trying to do is actually put it and give it some structure, give it some solid foundation, so that we can build from there and solve the question of scalability.
And when did you personally start?
Personally, I was in charge of all of the jet fuel operations in Mexico for 11 years.
Okay.
And over the last 4 years that I was there, the biofuel, subject matter started growing within the aviation community. And this is how I came to meet with Carl Hodges, because I started a process that we call the Flight Plan Towards Sustainable Aviation Biofuels in Mexico. It was a stakeholder engagement process, and one of those stakeholders turned out to be Carl Hodges. And so we met, we started talking about it, we started thinking about ways of bringing that project to fruition in Mexico. And unfortunately, for whatever reasons, we just couldn't make it work. So this is how I ended up here.
And when did you come over to Masdar?
I came over to Masdar about a year and 5 months ago.
Oh, not long. Wow.